Green sateen uniforms were once commonplace in the jungle, but nowadays you only see them in old movies and on the Navy Seabees. Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 7 is spending some time out of their 7-month deployment taking advantage of Okinawa's vast training areas. The field exercise is one of 2 yearly and is giving the Seabees a chance to practice their patrolling skills, rear area security, and other various field skills. A group of Marine infantrymen are participating in the Seabees exercise by acting as aggressors as well as trainers. The commanding officer of NMCB 7 says the inter-service cooperation is a benefit.
We have the Marines here to help us by aggressing us and teaching us how to patrol. The 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines are with us right now, and they've been a tremendous help to us.
One of the Seabees' jobs is setting up tent cities, and in this exercise they set up garrison with all the benefits of a permanent installation, to include a large mess hall, sufficient living quarters, and even showers with hot water. The exercise is 5 days long and has given NMCB 7 a chance to improve their state of readiness, as well as possibly bring back a few stories of the Okinawa jungle to their home base of Gulfport, Mississippi. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Central Training Area.
Must be some kind of way out of here, said a joker to the thief. There's too much confusion, I can't get no relief. Businessman there to drink my wine, plowman dig my earth. None will ever own the mine, nobody of it is worth. No reason to get excited, the baby kind is full. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. But you and I, we've been through that, and this is not our fate. So let us start talking falsely now. The hour's getting late. Hey!
Every Marine is a rifleman, so it goes, and one thing every rifleman needs to complete their mission is bullets. Providing ammunition, all types, is the job of Ammo Company 3rd Supply Battalion under 3rd FSSG. A 3-week-long field training exercise is underway that has completely moved the Ammunition Supply Point, or ASP as it's known, to the field. Moving a 3-week supply of ammunition to the field is no small task, but the hard work has paid off by showing new Marines in the field what some of the differences are between permanent and field ASPs.
Well, my Marines are training every day down inside the ASP, learning the different ins and outs of storage, what ammunition goes with what the maintenance requirements are, what the differences are between storing back in the rear in a permanent storage facility such as a magazine and a field environment. You know, you've got the wind, you've got the weather, those type of things that they're experiencing.
Though the field exercise is for training, ammo companies still must accomplish their daily missions. The company, which has just over 150 Marines, is one of 6 ammunition supply points throughout the Marine Corps, and they're tasked with providing ammo to all of 3MEF. As well as specific training for ammunition technicians, the Marines are taking the opportunity of living in the field to hold basic Marine training. The executive officer of Ammo Company says the Marines are enjoying the opportunity to do some field training, and that training, combined with the real-time mission of the ASP, has provided for a true-to-life field exercise. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Schwab. We're all taught at a young age not to play with fire, and for good reason. It's dangerous. A few Marines from 3rd Landing Support Battalion had some hands-on experience on just how dangerous a fire can be. Fire suppression training took place on Futema Air Station, and for the Helicopter Support Team Marines, it's important training.
We're always doing a lot of work around LZs, around helicopters. And basically for our Marines to be schooled up in firefighting is going to help them out and help that air crew out if they ever have to put out a fire, what have you, inside an LZ. If a bird catches on fire, there's a fuel fire, what have you.
Futema Air Station's Crash Fire and Rescue Unit provides the instructors and equipment needed to complete this potentially deadly training. The NCOIC of the Crash Fire Rescue Team says that by having the 3rd LSB Marines actually get into the pit and fight the fire, it teaches them a certain respect for the flames. The spacesuit-like uniforms worn by the firefighting Marines are made from aluminum and reflect some of the heat generated by the burning jet fuel, which can reach temperatures well over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Though the LSB Marines don't deal with firefighting every day, the training they've received will help prepare them for any fire situation they may encounter in the future. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Marine Corps Air Station, Futema.
Stand next to your fire. Let me stand. Yeah. Let me stand, baby. Let me stand. Oh, let me stand. Oh, I'll move over and let Jimmy take over. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, get on with it, baby.
Finding an employee with over 30 years on the job sounds like a difficult task. Well, recently, over 500 such people were recognized. The Ginawan Convention Center was where 736 local employees of the U.S. forces received their awards for dedicated service. On hand for the hour-long service were the commanding officers of all 4 military branches, the U.S. Consul General of Okinawa, as well as a representative for the governor of Okinawa. A representative for the employees of each branch of service received a certificate and gift from the respective commanding officer. After the ceremony, a special reception was held for the employees that had over 35 years of service. Food and drink was provided, and it served as a time to reflect over the many changes and experiences gained by working with the U.S. forces since the 1950s. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Ginawan City. The Okuma Beach Recreation Center is undergoing a change. A full-scale renovation of the facility is underway. One of the first things being redone is the telephone system. Members of the 18th Communications Squadron are currently installing new cables as part of Phase 1 of this two-phase operation.
What it is, it's a small hotel-motel switch. And able to put this in, and the telephones that we need for each individual facility, we need expanded cable pair. And that's what the Cable Maintenance Work Center is doing under Phase 1.
Phase 1 is expected to take about 3 weeks and has the 4-man crew from the 18th Communications Squadron doing numerous wire splices. As well, over 700 feet of hand trenching will be required for the project. The new telephone system, once complete, will provide customers with enhanced service.
The specific upgrade that we're looking for is the customer's ability to call from their cabana room to anywhere on island, or from someone at home to contact them directly into the cabana room.
The old telephone system consisted of only one military line connected through a radio system that only worked most of the time. This first improvement on a long list of upgrades to the resort will help continue Okuma's high standard of recreational services to all military members and families island-wide. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Okuma. Whenever you put a vehicle in a situation where the terrain is not ideal, it's inevitable that a truck will get stuck. That's when Vehicle Recovery Marines come in. They are trained to get a vehicle out of a sticky situation. However, due to limited numbers of these specially trained Marines, it's important to have all motor transportation operators at least familiar with the recovery process. 3rd Maintenance Battalion held a familiarization class to do just that.
Don't get the chance to go to a northern end like NTA and CTA and do much training. And this will help them for like people when they get back to Lejeune or Pendleton and they are stuck in a situation where they do have to do it, they won't be dumbfounded, and they'll have a little bit of working knowledge about it.
Marines from various maintenance battalion companies attended the class. A demonstration recovery utilizing a M936 recovery vehicle showed the students just what it takes to get a 5-ton truck out of the sand. After the demonstration, a few of the students had a chance to get some hands-on experience. This type of training is not often possible for the Motor T Marines of 3rd Maintenance Battalion due to an extremely full maintenance schedule. So, getting out of the shop for a day of training on the beach was a nice change of pace, as well as an educational endeavor. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Kinser. The final product of any training evolution is better prepared Marines and soldiers. The Marines of Marine Air Support Squadron 2 and soldiers of 1st Special Forces took some time out of their daily schedule to improve their combat readiness by learning about spy rigging. Spy rigging is a special means of inserting and extracting troops in situations that won't allow helicopters to land. It takes a lot of support to do this kind of training. 3 MEF's Special Operations Training Group provided equipment and instructors. HMM 165 brought the helicopter, and Torii Station was the location for this day of training. One officer from MASS 2 says this kind of training is not something they can do every day.
You know, we jump at any opportunity to go out there and get dirty and play, just like our grunt brothers do. They're enjoying this, and they've been looking for this for a while. Again, this is not something we do very often, so this is a special opportunity for all of us to be out here.
To some people, hanging on a rope 800 feet in the air and flying at speeds over 50 knots doesn't sound like a good idea. But the Marines and soldiers that hooked up and went for a ride seem to love it.
As you start walking towards the rope, you can, I was on the very front of the rope, and as you're getting closer and closer, the anxiety is starting to build, and then all of a sudden you feel a jerk. The helicopter takes you up into the air, you look down and you see all the other people starting to come up into the air, and then you got to get those hands out to the side to keep you from twirling around. Then after that, it's just adrenaline takes over, and the scenery is great, and you're out there looking over the ocean, looking over down at the ground. It's just the greatest experience I've ever had.
Better prepared Marines and soldiers are of course what training is supposed to accomplish. However, the MASS 2 Marines and First of the First soldiers are better prepared as well. They're walking, or rather flying away with an experience that's a true morale booster and a memory that won't fade soon. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Torii Station. Might as well jump, jumping for joy, and jump to it are some sayings that roll off the tongue easily, but for most people that would hear them at over 10,000 feet above ground level, they're a little hard to follow. Most people, that is. Marines from 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion jump for a living. For many years, the skies over Okinawa have been filled with jumpers from the battalion, but now with the reduction in force and reorganization, 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion is shutting down. The Marines of Recon couldn't just fade away quietly. They had to get in just a few more jumps. The Air Force provided a C-130 aircraft for the Marines that were to make 3 jumps apiece. Due to high winds at first, the static line jumpers had to sit and wait. But for 3 Marines that are high altitude, low opening, or halo jumpers, nothing would stop them from taking that big first step at 13,000 feet. After more than 2 hours of flying, the combat-ready Recon Marines got the thumbs up and out the door they went. The operation went smoothly and marked the historic last jump over Okinawa for the unit known as 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, above Okinawa.
Just how you feel. You got to roll with the punches and get to what's real. Can't you see me standing here? I got my back against the wrecking machine.
It's not every day that an arriving unit gets a greeting like the one that Kadina's 18th Wing Shoguns received on their return from the 1992 William Tell competition. The reason for the ceremony was the Shogun sweep of the All-Air Force competition. They returned with 6 of a possible 12 first-place trophies, to include the overall best team and the Top Gun, which went to Captain Jeffrey Pritchard. The competition, which started in 1958, is a biennial event which has only been canceled twice, first during Vietnam and recently during Operation Desert Storm. On his return to Kadena, the commander, Major Pat Rhodes, told everyone about the pride the Shoguns feel.
When we left here, we had 3 objectives. 1, get 6 F-15s in good shape from here to Tyndall and back. That's 16,000 miles. It's a long way. Second objective, go down to William Tell and participate in the competition in the Shogun Standard. That's with class. And our third objective, bring home the gold. And right there, in front of this stage, we brought home the gold. And we met our objectives.
After the commander spoke, each member of the team received an Air Force Achievement Medal for their outstanding work. The Kadena Shoguns have brought back much more than trophies to the 18th Wing. They've brought back the proof that all the hard work has made the Okinawan-based unit the best in the world. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Kadena.
I paid my dues, time after time. I've done my sentence, but committed no crime. And bad mistakes, I've made a few. I've had my shadows and kicks in my face, but I've come through. Let me to go. Curtain calls. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. I thank you all, but it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. I consider it a challenge before the whole human race, and I ain't gonna lose.
Whoa, if I could talk to the animals,
Just imagine it, chatting with a chimp and chimpanzee. Imagine talking to a tiger, chatting with a cheetah. What a neat achievement it would be if we could talk to the animals and learn their languages, maybe take an animal degree. I'd study elephant and eagle, buffalo and beagle, alligator, guinea pig and flea. I would converse in polar bear and python. I would curse in fluent kangaroo. If people ask me, can you speak rhinoceros? I'd say, of course, can't you? If I conferred with our furry friends, man to animal, think of the amazing repartee. If I could walk with the animals and talk with the animals, grunt, squeak, and squawk with the animals, and Lord, they could talk to me. Yeah. If I could talk to the animals, think what fun we'd have asking over crocodiles for tea. Or maybe lunch with 2 or 3 lions, walruses and sea lions. What a lovely place the world would be. If I spoke slang to orangutan, oh, the advantages any fool on earth can plainly see. Discussing Eastern art and dramas with intellectual llamas, that's a big step forward, you'll agree. I'd learn to speak in antelope and turtle. My Pekingese would be extremely good. If I were asked to sing in hippopotamus, I'd say, why not a must? And I would. If you stop and think of it, there's no doubt of it, I could win a place in history. If I could walk with the animals and talk with the animals, grunt, squeak, squawk with the animals, and they could squeak and squawk and speak and talk to me. They would talk to me. Yeah, 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 yeah. The animals and me.
When word of the closure of Yombaru Wildlife Park got out, a group of citizens from Nago City and surrounding villages decided to form a commission to save the animals and park. They purchased 60% of the area and petitioned for a new company to invest. While this was happening, the park was suffering due to no paid employees. A call for volunteers was put out, and it caught the eye of one Marine Sergeant Major from Camp Hansen. He decided that the Marines could aid the failing park through volunteering. The Sergeant Major put out a call of his own and came up with a large group of eager volunteers.
Well, we have the 9th Engineers, have about 50 people up here. We have 3rd Recon with 10 and 2 Avon boats doing the lily removal. And then we have 3 ladies from Consolidated Finance and Accounting, Marine Corps Base, doing the translation for us.
With that large group of Marines volunteering to help out the now non-profit wildlife park, a glimmer of hope to reopen could be seen. In the time from the closure to the volunteering, many of the park's lakes were taken over by lily pads that could suffocate animals that fell in the water, so this was a priority cleanup. As well, basic upkeep was needed, such as bathroom cleaning, picking overgrown weeds, and scrubbing the inside of an aquarium. With the use of donated wood, the 9th Engineers pooled their resources and decided to build a number of park benches and picnic tables that were greatly needed. A few Marines tasked with repairing a monkey cage got a bit of a surprise.
The crew that was putting roofs on some monkey cages had the monkeys come up to the top, and as they were sitting there and trying to put this plastic material on the roof, the monkeys were trying to bite them, poke at them, and they've had fun.
Over 600 man-hours were spent on this project that made it possible for the wildlife park to reopen. The park's management had a bit of a shock when they first heard the number of Marines willing to help, but later they were very glad about the American participation.
This could be really the beginning of the good relationship between the American citizen and Okinawan people. That's for sure.
The intercultural exchange that took place over the full 2 days of work on the park is something that all the volunteers will never forget. They also finished up with the knowledge that without their help, Yombaru Wildlife Park might never again have opened its doors. and they all say it's a great feeling. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Nago City. The recreation area in back of Zukaran Elementary School was transformed into the 4th annual Fall Festival recently. The purpose of this party is to help raise funds for the Zukaran Parent Teachers Association and, of course, provide a good time for everyone. This year's festival was bigger than ever and had a large turnout. The money raised from this event goes to the PTA for use on various projects. The Just Dunked principal of Zukaran explains.
Well, they support a lot of the individual classroom and school-wide activities, have a lot of projects that different things come up during the year that they lend their support to.
The 3MEF band put on a show for the kids and parents that were busy playing all the games that you usually find at this kind of event. Some kids didn't walk away from this party quite as clean as they came. Many activities and people having fun made the 1992 annual Fall Festival a great success. When asked what they thought, the kids could only reply,
It's cool! Yeah.
Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Zukaran Elementary. The dictionary's definition for the word festival is a time of celebration marked by special observances. Well, all the special observances at this year's Kuwait Fest on Camp Lester were created to make just one thing: fun. The festival that lasted from Friday afternoon through late Sunday was open to all Americans and Okinawans. Though there are many similar celebrations throughout the year on Okinawa, Camp Lester's unique location makes Kuwait Fest special.
Well, this festival is important because, first of all, a lot of the traffic on Highway 58 drives past military installations here on Okinawa, and most of the time they don't know what happens on the base. They don't even know what it looks like on the base. So it's important to have a friendship festival that's easily accessible to Highway 58 and all the traffic that goes by.
Many types of activities were available at this, the biggest Kuwait Fest yet. The ever-popular Bang the Rubber Chicken and Hope It Lands in the Pot booth was a crowd pleaser. As well, various demonstrations were given throughout the festival. One showed folks the discipline of karate and that it's not only for men. Overall, this year's festival lived up to its definition and can definitely be classified as celebration. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Lester. Marine Corps tradition, a phrase heard over and over throughout the Marine Corps. This time of the year, Marines celebrate their Marine Corps birthday by holding a birthday ball. Well, one group of Marines broke the new tradition of a large ball for many Marines and opted for a small dinner gathering to celebrate not only the birthday, but camaraderie as well.
We want to celebrate the birthday, but more or less, we want to celebrate our friendship. And that's what we've tried to do. We've tried to celebrate our friendship. Everything you see here is done by the 3rd Force Service Support Group Marines and by the 1st Mall MVC Marines.
All of the ceremony of a mess night and a birthday ball was observed, including the cutting of the birthday cake, honoring the oldest and youngest Marines present, and the traditional toasts to the Marines past, present, and future.
Before us tonight stands an empty chair and a single long table draped in black, signifying our brothers who are not with us this evening because they've given the full measure of devotion to our country and Corps. A toast to all the Marines who have died for our beloved country and Corps. To our fallen comrades.
The feeling of high morale was as thick as the smoke from the traditional cigar smoking. The small group of about 60 Marines consider themselves a brotherhood not only by being Marines, but by the nature of their job, Nuclear, Biological, Chemical, or NBC Marines. For 3 years, the NBC Marines of 1st Marine Aircraft Wing and 3rd Force Service Support Group have gathered to celebrate the Marine Corps' birthday And to show all the honor and esprit de corps that these Marines have about being part of the brotherhood called the United States Marine Corps. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Foster. If you were to walk into Camp Foster's field house today, you might think you were still in bed and having a history dream. The Marine Corps Birthday Ball Committee has successfully brought back a little of the year 1775, the birth year of the Marine Corps, by building a replica of Tun Tavern.
Tun Tavern is considered to be the birthplace of the Marine Corps. It was a bar in Philadelphia where the Marines gathered and where the first Marines were recruited from in 1775.
The mock tavern took about 1 month to assemble from prefabricated parts. However, due to storage rot, many of the parts had to be rebuilt. But the construction foreman says the work was well worth it.
I think it accents the whole pageant a whole lot better. I don't really think it would be a very good ball if you didn't have something like this. It just adds to it.
Various units participated in transforming the Foster Fieldhouse to the grand ballroom that will serve as home to the 1992 Marine Corps Birthday Ball. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Foster. Most people have heard of Mars, but when they think of it, they usually think of a planet. Well, on Okinawa, Mars stands for something other than a planet, and you don't need a telescope to see it.
MARS stands for Military Affiliate Radio System. Basically, we support all the units on the island, their dependents, and any military base workers with a military address. We send out Marsgrams, which are free messages going back to the States, and we also support the units with free phone patches and collect phone patches back to the States weekly.
A Marsgram is similar to a telegram. Up to 25 words can be sent to anywhere in the United States for free. It takes only 3 to 5 days to reach its destination, where the message is then phoned to the addressee or mailed locally. There are Mars drop-off boxes located on all Okinawa bases.
We have several locations on the island. We have Marsgram drop boxes at all Marine Camp USOs, Kadena USO and Library, Kui Lodge and Lester Family Service Center, and Foster JRC, Library, and Evans Clinic.
Another important service of the Mars station is phone patches. A connection between Okinawa and stateside Mars stations completely cuts out the cost of an overseas call. During normal operation, the only cost would be the price of a collect call from the West Coast to the final destination in the States. Because a phone patch is a one-way line, you must say the word over after completing a sentence, so that the person on the other end knows when to speak. Though Marsgrams and phone patches take up the majority of the Mars station's time, that's not its primary mission.
Mars is important because the primary mission of Mars is to act in adjunct to normal naval communications. Our Marsgrams are basically practice for us so that if the naval communication system has a problem, they can always fall back to Mars and we'll be able to help out the Navy.
All of the Mars stations on Okinawa provide an important service to the armed forces personnel stationed here. But they couldn't do it without the help of hundreds of amateur radio operators worldwide who volunteer their time by delivering Marsgrams and making phone patches. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Foster. Inside this quiet-looking gymnasium on a cold and dreary day was floor-pounding action. The Futema Thanksgiving Open Wrestling Tournament was the cause of all this commotion. Open to anyone, the Saturday tournament drew over 50 participants in 10 weight classes, including a member of the All-Marine team who is currently stationed on Okinawa. When asked why wrestling appeals to him, he explained that the dedication and discipline has a lot to do with it.
Well,
a lot of discipline involved in wrestling because of the weight, a lot of dedication because it's a one-on-one sport. And you really can't rely on nobody else but yourself because you can't tell nobody else mistakes, but you make a mistake, it's going to be on you, not nobody else telling you what to do and stuff.
This was one in a series of competitions sponsored by Marine Corps MWR. They invite anyone who is interested in wrestling to come to the next Open, which is scheduled for December 12th at Camp Schwab. As for this competition, here's a look at the top finishers in each weight class. Trophies went to all the winners who turned an otherwise nasty day into a day for victory. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Marine Corps Air Station Futema. Acts of terrorism are all too common these days. One method terrorists use is mail bombing. In an effort to prevent the possibility of terrorists utilizing the military postal system, a new regulation has been introduced.
Okay, the purpose of this agreement is to prevent the introduction of explosive or destructive devices into the civil aviation system by the way of mail being entered into the military postal system.
The majority of all mail leaving Okinawa's military installations makes its way back to the States on commercial air carriers. This is the reason that the joint agreement between the Department of Defense and the Federal Aviation Administration came up with the new regulation. The regulation covers parcels weighing 16 ounces or more and will require the patron sending the package to fill out a little more paperwork than usual.
This will require that all of our postal patrons who will be mailing parcels or packages weighing 16 ounces or more will be required to provide us additional information to include their name, their ID card number, which is on the reverse of their military dependent ID card. They will be required to list the number of packages that are being mailed and the zip codes for all packages that are being mailed.
At the same time that this new regulation is taking effect, a new policy of 100% ID check has been implemented, whether in uniform or not. The Postal Service workers ask for your cooperation and patience while these new policies get broken in. Corporal Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Kadena.
Looking up
White Beach Port Facility is used to ships coming and going, but when the USS Belleau Wood docked, there was little of that business-as-usual feeling that accompanies any repetitive job. The reason this docking was different from others is that the Belleau Wood had just returned from the Philippines, carrying the last of any American troops remaining there. The captain of the LHA-3, or Landing Helicopter Assault Ship, says his crew was proud to be part of this historic event.
We were the last ship out of QB Point, Subic Bay, and the crew considered it a real honor to be proud of the effort with the final withdrawal and closure of the base, turning it over to the Philippine government. I think the crew did a very fine job in concert with the U.S. NAVFAC Phil and also the United States Marines who we brought back here to Okinawa.
2 other ships accompanied the Belleau Wood. The USS Dubuque and the USS Germantown are also utilizing the White Beach facility. This stop was a drop-off point for the Marines that came from U.S. bases in the Philippines that no longer exist. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, White Beach. It takes more than 3 days of planning and hours of logistics to prepare the port facility on White Beach for an incoming ship. It's a job that should take more than 20 people. However, due to cutbacks, the White Beach port facility has only 12 sailors to do the job of 20. 3 days prior to the arrival of a ship, phone calls, paperwork, and physical preparation get underway. Coordination for transportation, food, mail, and every other need of the ship in port is the responsibility of Port Services.
Port Services include making arrangements and doing the appropriate coordination for every request a ship that comes into port needs accomplished ahead of time, during their visit, ahead of their visit, and following their visit.
Just an example of the heavy load required of Port Services is the fact that for just one ship, over 3,000 pounds of mail are handled by the small unit. Over the past 2 years, the facility's load was not near as busy as it is now due to the closure of Subic Bay in the Philippines.
Well, in the past 2 years, we've averaged 2 to 2.5 ships a month, with about 30 ships overall, U.S. Navy ships overall throughout the year. Currently, our average this fiscal year is already up to 5.5. We've already expect through the end of December to see 20 ships pull into White Beach from October through December.
White Beach shares the facility with the Japanese Self-Defense Force, which adds responsibilities to the sailors' already busy schedule. When ships are in, 18-hour days are the norm for the hard-working individuals that man White Beach Port Facility, which has now gained them a reputation of being one of the best service ports in the Pacific. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, White Beach. Shopping, shopping, shopping. Words you hear a lot these days with the holidays approaching. Well, probably the best deals on Okinawa are not to be found at the BX, gift shops, or off base. They're at Building 600 on Camp Kinzer, otherwise known as DRMO. The Defense Reutilization Marketing Office is holding another cash and carry sale. DRMO sells items that the government can't use anymore or has replaced. But don't let that fool you. They have everything. And who knows, maybe even a kitchen sink.
We sell anything from the cash and carry sales, from dressers to beds to cameras to VCRs. This time we got about 20 VCRs that actually works. All of them work. Everything we sell in cash and carry works. We got utensils, we got flight suits, we got cold weather jackets, we got chairs, tables, couches, you name it, sheets, blankets, we have it.
Because of the low prices found at the cash and carry sales, folks start lining up a day in advance. This month's sale is on Friday and starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and ends at noon. There is one catch, however, isn't there always? When they say cash, they mean cash.
Cash and carry is just like it says. You come and you pay U.S. cash and then you carry it away with you. The sale is open from 8 o'clock until 12. Only U.S. cash is accepted.
All items purchased at the cash and carry sale must be removed by 2 o'clock the same day. The DRMO staff stressed the fact that any item purchased is for personal use only and cannot be resold for a profit. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Kinser. After the first snow is when most Christmas activities start to happen. Well, here on Okinawa, a different event kicks off the season of good cheer. The lighting of the Kadena Air Base Christmas tree is the annual event that symbolizes the beginning of Christmas. Put together by Kadena MWRS with help from other base organizations, the tree is really for the whole military family.
It's happening because the families want it, and we want to present it to the families, and just to get the Christmas spirit and to goodwill to all.
The evening started with a parade, followed by performances by various choruses from the Dodge schools on island. Next to the tree this year is a special house built just for Santa Claus, and it will be open every evening through Christmas to give the youngsters a chance to meet the jolly fellow in person. When dusk approached, the moment had arrived to do what everyone had gathered for: light the tree.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
After the tree's lighting, the crowds gathered around and enjoyed a little bit of Christmas cheer on this first night of the holiday season. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Kadena. Operation Restore Hope is taking place in the nation of Somalia in Africa. It's thousands of miles away from Okinawa, but now Restore Hope has closed the distance and touched the military community of Okinawa with the deployment of the first Okinawa-based Marines. Close to 300 Marines from the 3rd Marine Expeditionary Force were sent to Camp Pendleton, California to join the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force and support them on their mission into Somalia. This marks the first time any troops were sent in number from Okinawa to participate in Operation Restore Hope. If the relief effort goes as planned, there shouldn't be a need for more Marines to deploy.
Well, for the time being, at least, unless this drags out much longer than we expect to, this is the number we think are going to go for now.
All of the Marines that deployed from 3MEF were picked because of their specific occupation. A need for personnel in the logistics field, communications, administration, and military police arose that couldn't be filled by 1MEF. So the decision was made to use the 3MEF Marines from Okinawa to support Operation Restore Hope. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Kadena. Any deployment in the military brings with it varied emotions. But when the deployment is to an operation where the possibility of danger exists, the emotions get stronger. Before the Marines of 3MEF left for Camp Pendleton, California, where they would join other Marines heading towards Operation Restore Hope in Somalia, their commanding officer, Major General Donald Gardner, took some time to talk with the Marines about their upcoming mission.
You're going to have a very difficult problem when you get there and get out in the countryside. You are going to be exposed to something that none of you have ever seen. You may be from Chicago or you may be from New York and you may have seen a lot of homeless. But you haven't seen anything like what you're about to be faced with, and it's going to be emotionally very hard for you, and it's going to be like somebody took a 2x4 and hit you upside the head.
The general went on to say that the Marines shouldn't get callous to the suffering of the Somalis. but that they must remain able to do their job. Many of the Marines' faces showed that they had a lot on their minds, but they all had one thing in the front: the mission.
I think we're all looking forward to it. We have a lot of positive talk from the troops, and I think we're going to do all right over there.
Feel good. Feel real good. Hopefully we'll be able to help the people of Somalia get back to our families.
I just feel that we can't let people like that down.
Though the possibility of danger does exist, Operation Restore Hope is a humanitarian effort to save the starving in Somalia, and the Marines of 3MEF seem to be looking forward to lending a helping hand to people in need. After going through customs and being briefed by the general, one Marine found a few minutes to sit back and gather thoughts on what laid in store for him in the upcoming days. Others had a chance to say a last goodbye to their families. As the Marines boarded the 747 that would start them on their journey, they received a pat on their back and a wish of good luck. The troops left with high visibility as media from all over Japan was on hand covering the deployment. As the plane took off, it was easy to imagine Marines looking out of the window, not knowing what was in store for them, but knowing they were going to help people in need, and that helping or restoring hope would control the many emotions that they would feel. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Kadena. A sunny Sunday afternoon on Camp Schwab was changed from just another day to a day to remember when 7 members of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader team showed up for a look around. The cheerleaders are staying on Okinawa for 3 days as part of the USO DoD tour program. Marines proudly showed the cheerleaders their amphibious vehicles. After a brief on what the vehicles could do, the ladies donned a life vest and headed out for some Marine Corps-style boating. After they came back ashore, onlookers had a chance to chat with the cheerleaders and take some pictures. The show they put on is a combination of many types of dancing, and according to one cheerleader, it comes from the heart.
It's probably the most special thing that you can do is being a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. Just to bring a little back something from home to them and make them smile and let them know that we still care about them back home. That's what I like doing and being a cheerleader.
The shows are being held at various locations on Okinawa. All of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders expressed their wishes for everyone to come out and see them perform. As well, one cheerleader had a very special message for the folks on Okinawa.
My name is Nicole Anselmo, and I just wanted to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
The United States and Japanese governments recently have enacted a cost-sharing program to help pay for American troops stationed in Japan. The program, which will eventually have the Japanese government paying for 100% of military members' utility bills, depends on those members that reside off-base.
The off-base expenditures are more difficult because each individual member must submit their individual utility bills for reimbursement to the Japanese government.
The program was enacted in April of this year. Since then, only 40% of participants have turned in their utility receipts. The program is not voluntary. All personnel living off-base at government expense must, under base order, turn in the utility receipts that are required.
Right now, the Japanese government will reimburse for electric bills, which is the major one because of the cost here. They'll also reimburse for water, sewage, and gas, kerosene and propane.
Individual commands have designated personnel to act as the cost-sharing coordinators. All receipts that are due should be turned into them, and then they will forward them to base dispersing. Though no punishment has been imposed as of yet, if members don't begin to do what they're ordered, punishment is foreseeable.
That's all we ask, is that they bring the bills in. If they don't bring the bills in, eventually it's going to come down where we'll have to start playing hardball. And we really don't want to do that but it's a viable option, and believe me, we're not going to tolerate losing $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year because service members don't want to bring in their utility bills.
Twas 9 days before Christmas, and all through the school, Kinzer preschool that is, a bunch of creatures were stirring, singing songs too. Excitement abound, the kids were all hyped, for today was the day that Santa came by. Okay, well, not really, but his helpers brought a communications van so the kids could talk with him. The kids went on up and put on the gear, then heard that jolly old man right in their ears.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Hello, Daniel. How are you today?
I want something to present.
The boss of the school thought this was all great.
Very excited. As a matter of fact, I think it's even more realistic that they're talking to Santa on the radio rather than seeing him in person, because they get to see Santa so many times. This is an opportunity for them to talk to him and to really get to know him better and to tell him what they want for Christmas.
Santa's helpers from Kadena had the logistics worked out. The 6990th Electronic Security Squadron planned for this link a couple months out.
Sent a letter to him several months ago telling him we wanted to do this from Kadena for all the kindergarten schools, basically on Kadena, but a friend of ours, Mary Barkley, here at preschool at Kinzer, asked us to do her too, so we decided to come down here and do the preschoolers also.
Though the day was rainy and the skies were gray, even that didn't keep Santa's voice away. The kids from Kinzer had a day to remember, for they talked to Santa with a hand from his helpers. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Kinzer. Operation Restore Hope has help on the way from Okinawa. The 1st Marine Air Wing has begun a project to support the airfields and landing strips that are being used to fly in troops and much-needed supplies to Somalia. Marine Wing Support Squadron 172 is loading over 3,000 pallets of AM2 matting, which is used to build expeditionary airfields, and sending it to Naha Port, where it awaits further shipment to Somalia. An AM2 mat is a strip of aluminum with interlocking edges. When connected, the matting provides a sturdy surface for airplanes to land on. As well, it's economical.
Well, you've got a sandy type of surface there, and by laying the matting on top of it, it gives you a hard surface, much like paving, only a lot cheaper. Plus, when you're done, you can pick it up and bring it back with you. Whether if you asphalted something, the asphalt stays there. So it's portable, it's cheaper, and it's just a lot better way of getting things done over it sometimes.
The Marines of MWSS 172 are putting in 14-hour days moving, loading, and shipping the pallets, which weigh over 500 pounds each. Once the AM2 matting reaches its final destination, it will be assembled into a fully blown expeditionary airfield and support the relief flights going to help the starving nation of Somalia. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Futenma. On October 29th, President Bush signed the Veterans Benefit Act of 1992, making it law. This brought with it a major change to the servicemen's group life insurance program. The biggest change is that service members can now purchase insurance anywhere from $10,000 up to a maximum of $200,000. However, with the new policy comes new paperwork.
The new form came out. You must fill out the new form whether or not you want the increased coverage or not. And the form must be filled out prior to 31 March 1993. If you don't complete the new form by 31 March 1993, then you will have to have medical certification as to your good health prior to enrollment under the program.
Warrant Officer Kelly added that although the policy is available to all service members, those that do not enroll by the cutoff date of March 31st, 1993, will in effect have no life insurance policy at all. All service members are affected by the change, and personnel should go to their respective administration sections to do the required paperwork. The cost of the insurance has not changed at all under the new policy, so for the full $200,000, a member will be charged $16 per month. That further breaks down to about 8 cents per $100,000, which is significantly lower than most commercial insurance available. Once the service members fill out the new form, all it takes to make their new policy effective is their signature, and then they're covered for the selected amount. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Foster. The Striking Ninth, a name describing the hard-hitting Marine Regiment, the 9th Marines, had a birthday ceremony as well as a change of command recently. A full traditional Marine Corps parade was the platform for the rededication of the regiment's colors. Over 10 battle streamers were placed on the flag that show just how hard the 9th has worked over its 75-year history. After the rededication, the Sergeant Major passed the colors to the former commanding officer, Colonel Gary Parks, who in turn passed them to Colonel David Bice, symbolizing the change of command and giving Colonel Bice the title of Commanding Officer, 9th Marines. During his speech, the new CO explained to the Marines how he feels about his new regiment.
We are indeed living in a changing world. We don't know what challenge is going to face us tomorrow, next week, or next year. But indeed, it's our task to be ready to perform, and we're going to do just that.
The sunny weather was not what most expected in the middle of December, but that didn't break the holiday spirit that comes this time of year. As the colonel stated, a new command for Christmas is the best gift any Marine Corps colonel could receive. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Hansen.
The mood is right, the spirit's up. We're here tonight, and that's enough. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. The party's on, the feeling's here. That only comes this time of year. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. The choir of children sing their song. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding. year long. Ding dong, 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 dong, dong. The party's on, the spirit's up. We're here tonight, and that's enough. Simply
Troop 112 of the Okinawa Boy Scouts of America recently had a member that was promoted to Eagle Scout, the highest scouting rank. Travis John Seifert worked his way from the rank of Boy Scout in 1986 to Life Scout in 1990. From there, he spent the next 2 years working hard to gain the honor and title of Eagle Scout. Each Life Scout wishing to advance must do an Eagle Service project. Travis chose to lead the refurbishing of the Camp Foster Chapel meeting room. When asked about the driving force behind the accomplishment of becoming an Eagle, Travis says he did it for his brother.
My older brother. He started me in scouting, and I thought I'd finish it out for him.
By earning the promotion to Eagle Scout, Travis Seifert now joins the thin rank of boys all over the world that have made it all the way. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Butler. "1993 brings with it many new things, a new president, a small pay raise, and for one set of proud parents, the first baby boy of 1993. Marine Corps Sergeant Frank Flores and wife Feli are the parents of Francisco Alejandro Flores, the name given to the first baby on Okinawa of 1993. Though Francisco was first, his father says any time would have been okay.
Made it special anyway, but it just kind of made it a little bit more. Real exciting.
Born at 2:09 a.m., Francisco gave the Flores family a New Year's and New Year's Eve that they will never forget. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Lester. Everyone is familiar with the caution sign associated with school buses. What many people might not know is that the most dangerous place these days is inside the bus. Rowdy kids have become a major problem on the Okinawa island-wide school bus system.
The kids are just out of control. They just can't behave on the buses, and the behavior just can't be tolerated.
Due to the undisciplined children, a new policy has been put in place adding more mandatory school bus monitoring duty for parents. The bus company that holds the contract for the school children's transportation has gone so far as to threaten to cancel the contract if something can't be done. Actions taken so far have had no effect on the children's behavior. Video cameras were installed in all buses, and monitors are mandatory for buses that carry kindergartners through 5th graders. As well, the penalties for misbehaving have been increased.
We've tried to stiffen the penalties by 10-day suspension for the first offense, second 30 days, and the last offense is you just don't ride no longer here on your tour.
For parents, it might be hard to believe that their kids are the offenders, but the videotapes show it like it is. Misbehavior isn't the only problem, however. Vandalism is on the rise.
One kid had a cigarette lighter and he was burning, well, obscene language. He was burning stuff in the seat and stuff. Jimmy loves Vanessa or stuff like that. And we've had them take chalk and paint the seats and stuff and write all over them and color them. And well, the worst one we've had yet was the hole the kid punched in the ceiling, and we never did find out who that was.
The bus monitor system seems to be the most effective against the misbehaving, but many parents just don't show up for their assigned duties. A solution has yet to be found, but the main responsibility is on the parents and their ability to control their children in and out of sight. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Lester. The Marine Air Ground Task Force is a combat unit that combines the force abilities of air and ground units. One of the most important aspects of making a MAGTF work is the ability to have communications with both the air and ground elements. That's where Marine Air Support Squadron 2 comes in.
We take what the grunts are doing and coordinate that with the wings plan, with the tactical air commander's plan from the wing, and vice versa. We take the assets and everything from the wing side of the house and try to coordinate that and consolidate that into what the ground combat element wants to do.
The job of being the main link between ground and air elements requires a lot of work. Two pieces of equipment are the mainstay of the masts: the AN/TSQ-155 or Improved Direct Air Support Central, and the AN/UYQ-3A, a smaller version dubbed the YUC-3, are both designed for one thing: direct air support.
Our job is to make sure that the ground units in an operation get their aircraft in a timely manner, and if we don't do our job, they don't get their airplanes when they need it.
It takes a lot more manpower than it seems would be needed to operate a direct air support center. Transportation, electronic maintenance, and generator maintenance are just a few of the areas that make up the close to 200 Marine unit. The Marines of Mass 2 pride themselves on their ability to be self-sustaining. From the beginning, back in 1943 at El Centro, California, to the present, the Marines of Mass 2 have carried out the traditions of providing the best direct air support anywhere in the Marine Corps. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Marine Corps Air Station Futenma. It's the beginning of January and the season's name is winter. Well, when I was assigned to cover the Winter Scramble Golf Tourney, I figured it was a bunch of folks getting together and bonding in the cold and wet weather, kind of like that polar bear group that swims in the freezing water. Well, I didn't exactly find that. It wound up being a beautiful day with the sun overhead and only short sleeves necessary for the mild temperature. The golfers headed out early in the morning after being scrambled to find out who they would play with. In fact, that is supposedly the simple premise of this tournament. Individuals sign up to compete, and then when all sign-ups are finished, the names are compiled and scrambled and then put together into teams of 4. Then each member of the team takes a shot, but they all can't play after driving, but they all do putt. Sounds simple enough. Here, let a professional explain.
In the tournament today, everybody drives. If they select the A player's shot, he does not get to hit the second shot, and everybody gets to putt.
Okay, I've got it now. All of the technical lingo is fine and dandy, but what this reporter saw mostly on the course were folks meeting new people and having a lot of fun, and at least 2 golfers agreed.
Yeah, have fun, meet new people. That's the main objective out here today. Can't beat weather like this in January, can you?
Kind of fun because it's a lot of exercise, it's enjoying things like that.
Now here's a look at how the competition turned out. All in all, though the weather wasn't cold and snowy, the Winter Scramble Tournament turned out to be a complete success and left the Arctic golfing warriors of Okinawa with sweat-stained shirts and mud-covered shoes, just as a reminder that Okinawa's weather is truly a golfer's dream come true. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN Sports, Owase Meadows. Camp Foster's Fieldhouse was where the best volleyball teams from units on Camp Foster have been gathering over the past few days. They were playing round-robin games to decide who will go on to the All-Island CG Cup. The teams participating have been playing over the last few months, competing against each other and teams from other bases, all in an effort to see who can bring back the trophy to their unit. The island-wide championship will be held January 23rd in the Camp Foster Fieldhouse. According to participants, the people from Marine Corps Morale, Welfare, and Recreation are doing a great job organizing the competitions and making sure everything goes as planned. Once again, the All-Island Commanding Generals Cup Championship will be held on January 23rd at the Camp Foster Fieldhouse. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN Sports, Camp Foster. Your home away from home is the motto of the USO. One of the USOs on Okinawa has taken that motto a step further. The Camp Kinser USO has established a snack bar named the Devil Dog Diner that is not exactly what you would expect on Okinawa. Local cuisine is not on the menu. However, what is on the menu would please anyone craving that home-cooked American food that is so hard to find here on the island. In the morning, you might find the menu quite similar to your hometown small breakfast restaurant.
We have biscuits and gravy, we have home fries, we have grits, and any type of eggs that you want, we serve.
The menu does not stop at breakfast. Handmade hamburgers are one of the specialties of the Devil Dog Diner. As well, there are different lunch specials daily, ranging from taco rice to handmade lasagna. When asked what the trick to making such good food was, Beverly replied,
"It's all made from scratch. Strictly. It's all made from scratch, you know. And we have people come from all over the island, you know, to come here to eat."
On an island where yakisoba and fried rice are the staple diets for service members, the Kinser USO snack bar is bringing a little of that small-town America, just as Mama used to make it food to Okinawa. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Kinser. An event that brought shell collectors from all over Okinawa to the Army's Tori Station Beach Complex was held recently. The event fell on a cold and dreary day. However, that didn't stop die-hard shell collectors from showing up and looking at the hundreds of different types of shells on display at that event. Okay, by now you must be asking yourself, what event is he talking about? Well, there's just one problem with saying the name. It's a tongue twister and I can't say it, but I'll try. It was the shell shlo. Okay, just look at your screen for that information. Though the full name couldn't be pronounced, the Shell Show, as we'll call it, was a success, bringing in hundreds of collectors and onlookers alike. According to the event's coordinator, Okinawa is the perfect place for this kind of event.
Well, basically, there's a lot of collectors on the island. People just walk around on the beach, you know, pick up shells. It's very easy around Okinawa. Divers, you know, just tons of shells, and this gives people an opportunity to come out and see a variety of shells as well as display items that they have.
The majority of the showers were from a group known as the Okinawa Shell Club, which has been together for more than 10 years. Even with all the problems, okay, the only problem was that I couldn't pronounce the name, the shell show went on throughout the day and introduced many people to the various and interesting types of shells found on the shores of oceans worldwide. Tori Station plans on having a similar show in June, and maybe that time they will make the name just a little bit easier to pronounce. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Tori Station. The Japanese holiday, Seijin no Hi, translates directly to Adults' Day, but is known by the English name Coming of Age Day. That's because on the holiday, people that have turned 20 during the past year are welcomed into adulthood at ceremonies nationwide. Okinawa City's Civic Hall was the site of this year's celebration for young adults that grew up or live in Okinawa City. As always, all 20-year-olds were invited, including Americans and foreigners. This year's differed, however, in that one American was asked to give one of the speeches that comprised the ceremony. Amanda Thorpe, a 20-year-old Marine Corps corporal that works at Marine Corps Base Public Affairs as a broadcast journalist, had the honor of addressing hundreds of her international peers. She spoke about her life in America and how adulthood comes about in the United States. But she also said that people are people, no matter what nationality they are.
You and I were born in two different countries, but we share a common bond. We are all 20 years old.
Amanda Thorpe has shown Okinawa City's young adults that as visitors, the American population on Okinawa respects their holidays and is interested in finding out more about their historically deep culture. The formal kimono for male and female has been the prescribed dress for the Adult Day ceremonies for many years. But in the 90s, Japanese young adults are showing how much they are changing by wearing suits and ties and even styling their hair a little bit different from what you might expect in a room full of kimono-clad Japanese. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Okinawa City. Rain, rain, go away. Come on back another day had to be the phrase on the minds of all who showed up for Torii Station's annual Martin Luther King Day 5K walk and 10K run. Over 90 people participated in the race, including a few Okinawans who decided to show up to brave the wet and chilly weather with their American neighbors. Sign-ups started early in the morning. All the while, a silent wish for the rain to stop could be felt in the gymnasium. As they signed up, it continued to rain. Then they started preparing and it continued to rain. And then the pre-run brief and it rained even more. And off to the starting line, guess what? It was still raining. The rain didn't seem to bother anyone, however. They all seemed to be enjoying the fact that they were there to run and celebrate the national holiday together.
We're out here in the rain to enjoy our day, another day with Martin Luther King Day, to celebrate his day and enjoy a good day of physical fitness. And we're in here to enjoy ourselves. So with the rain, we're not going to stop because of his day. We're going to celebrate his day in the rain or in the sun.
The walking portion for the day consisted of a 5-kilometer stroll around the perimeter of Torii Station. Over 50 people and 2 dogs participated in that. And the running race followed the same course, but twice, adding up to 10 kilometers. The majority of the runners were there just to have fun, but at least a couple had a place for a trophy waiting in their homes. Here are the results of the 10K run in the rain. It would usually be hard to say a rained-on event was successful, but in keeping with their motto of guaranteed fun, Torii Station somehow made the Martin Luther King holiday run a success. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Torii Station. What to do with an entire day off work is a question many of us don't hate to face. Well, most of the American community on Okinawa had the day off to celebrate the Martin Luther King holiday. There are many ways to celebrate, and one popular way is to attend a party. The Camp Kinser USO hosted a Motown party on the holiday. People came from all over the island, and the special guests made it all the way from Motown. The Drifters, who are on Okinawa performing at one of the northern resort hotels, came to the Kinser USO to join in on the fun. Many activities were planned throughout the party, including a lunch that comes right from the back streets of Detroit. Barbecue sandwiched with slaw and beans left many with a smile on their faces. The Rodeo Club of Okinawa brought their mechanical bull and let prospective cowboys try out their skills. But the highlight of the party was the lip sync contest, which was judged by the Drifters. Starting out with a little Otis Redding, the contest progressed all the way up to a group that called themselves the Pipettes, singing some Marvin Gaye. The winner, however, strayed a little from Motown, but impressed the judges enough with his enthusiasm to take home the grand prize. One well-known Drifters song is Save the Last Dance for Me, and one of the Drifters takes it quite seriously, ending the day's fun by having a last dance with the director of the Kinzer USO, wrapping up a Motown party to remember. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Kinzer. What do you get when you mix volleyball, winter, and rain? Well, of course, it's the Camp Hansen USO's Northern Chill Volleyball Tournament. The Camp Hansen USO teamed up with AT&T to put on a volleyball tournament that was open to the entire island. Held at Camp Hansen Softball Diamonds, the tournament turned more into a kind of tamed mud volleyball game than a serious competition. With scattered rain showers, as Cheryl might say, the softball diamonds seemed to attract all the scattered rain that were on Okinawa. It was off and on throughout both days of the competition, but when the players were asked if they wanted to throw in the towel, they all surprisingly said they wanted more rain. While some folks who came out to watch the game dressed up for the occasion, all of the participants were busy dressing down. While the slippery courts made the action hilarious, the players were still taking the game seriously. According to the USO's program manager, this tournament turned out great, bringing in over 60 players, making 22 three-man teams. Because the excitement level was high at the Northern Chill, I decided to ask some folks what they thought of this tournament. Here are some of the answers.
Oh, pretty good, a little muddy, as usual. Slippery. A lot of slippery. Oh! Ah!
What do you think of the name, Northern Chill? Is it living up to its name or what?
No, it should be Northern Rain. A lot of mud, slipping and sliding.
The disc jockey was busy spinning the tunes, keeping the slightly chilled observers warm by making them move to the music. Overall, the Northern Chill Volleyball Tournament turned a dreary weekend into a mudslinging fun-for-all fiesta. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Hansen. Guaranteed fun. That's the motto of Tory Station's Morale, Welfare, and Recreation Division. In keeping with that motto, Tory's athletic department is opening up its doors to sports other than the staple basketball, football, and softball commonly found throughout the military. Recently, they tested the waters to see if anyone would be interested in an open wrestling tournament and found that many more people than expected turned up for the first wrestling tournament on Tory. As the name implies, the tourney was open to all who wished to participate, and that brought in wrestlers from all branches of the service as well from Kadena and Kubasaki high schools. According to one of the high school coaches, this was the best open all year. Weight classes ranged from the lightweight 105-pounders to the heavier 220-pound class, but whether big or small, the wrestling was intense. The competition lasted about 5 hours, which included 72 bouts. The winners were determined through round-robin type elimination, but according to one wrestler, all who came out were winners just for getting out on the mat. Here's a look at the top finishers in each weight class. According to Ray Benson, the Tory Station Athletic Director, another open wrestling tournament will be held in about 6 months. He also said that Tory will continue to bring competitions for other than team sports, including tennis and golf, in the near future. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Tory Station. Throughout history, a person known as a chief was the head or leader of his tribe. Nowadays, in the U.S. military, a chief is someone who has reached the highest enlisted rank of E9. Though each branch of the service has a different formal name for these leaders of troops, they are all, in a sense, chiefs of their own tribe, or as we call them now, units. Kadena Air Base has a special group where these experienced warriors can get together and pass on knowledge that will in turn help the up-and-coming chiefs of the future. The Kadena Chiefs Group was formed over 10 years ago. Kadena's group is different from many throughout the Air Force in that it is open to E9s from all branches of the service. Becoming part of the group is special because only 1% of all enlisted members can be E9s at any given time. It is truly a group of leaders that are at the pinnacle of the enlisted rank. The induction ceremony that was held recently had a special twist. It was the first ever induction to include members of the Air Force and Army at the same time. 5 Air Force members were welcomed to the rank of E9 and their new title of Chief Master Sergeant, and 1 Army soldier was welcomed to the title of Sergeant Major. Well over 200 people came to the Kadena NCO Club to see the 6 newest E9s on Okinawa inducted into the Chiefs Group. After the new chiefs took their oaths, they were addressed by the Deputy Commander of the 10th Area Support Group.
You have earned the right to join their ranks and should feel proud of your achievement. At this point, I would be terribly remiss if I failed to recognize your wives for the tremendous support I know they've provided along the way. I would also like to thank the Chiefs Group for including our soldiers within their membership. This gesture is another strong indication of the very close joint service relationship we enjoy here on Okinawa.
The Kadena Chiefs Group has added 6 new members to its ranks, and the U.S. military now has 6 more leaders that will ensure continued excellence in the enlisted ranks. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Kadena Air Base.
What does it mean? Why, it's the study of the chemistry between you and me. You got the biology, the V-I-V-E-ology. Your body is pumped next to me. You got that sensuality. You know I love what you do when you do what you do. You got me pumped in the groove when you move. I'm in a funky way. I'm in a funky way. I'm in a funky way.
Before we get started, let me tell you, I'm no sports announcer, but with the help of technology, I'll get through this story okay. So please, bear with me. All right, we're at the Foster Fieldhouse. It's the Commanding General Cup Volleyball Tournament final game. On the floor is 3-2 and H&S Battalion Marine Corps base. H&S is up by 5. The score is 14-9. H&S getting ready to serve now on what might be... Hold on, stop. Thank you, I have more to say. Okay, now, H&S getting ready to serve on what could be the winning volley. Okay, go ahead and start. Will they do it? 3-2, 1, 2, 3, slam by 3-2, taken away from H&S. All right, now 3-2 has a chance to catch up. They serve and, oh, bad block. Once again, H&S serves and 1, 2, slam by 3-2. Now stop the action. I don't have any video for the next 3-2 serve, but I'll tell you this, they lost the ball. Okay, now H&S has another chance to win. The serve was good. It's on 3-2 side. Stop. Attempted slam. Put in slow motion. It's going, going, going. It is out. That means H&S wins the game. H&S takes the 1993 Commanding Generals Cup Volleyball Tournament by storm, and they are crowned champion. For FEN Sports, I'm Sergeant Bruce Gordon at Camp Foster. An evening of gospel music was on tap at the Camp Foster Theater, signifying the beginning of 1993's Black History Month. The youth choirs from churches on and off base got together to put on a high-energy musical show. One of the coordinators for the show says the theme of the night has a deep meaning.
And our theme is we are one in the spirit. And it's just an opportunity to have all of the chapel communities and the communities outside of the military, the local churches, to come together as one and to kick off Black History Month. And that's what our goal was this year.
The recent Martin Luther King holiday also set the tone for this kickoff festival of music, youth, and togetherness.
It's very important that we spread the word to our young people today of unity and the words of Martin Luther King, that he was for all, and if we work together as no matter what our race or color, then we can bring harmony and peace to the world.
Many different chapels came together to help put on the show, including a group called the King's Players, who came all the way from Taiwan. After the show, all the kids got to spend some time together, learning about each other and making new friends, and possibly setting the stage for a world where all people could live in peace. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Camp Foster. The sport of weightlifting has been around for some time now, but recently its popularity is on the rise for both men and women. Marine Corps Air Station Futema's Morale, Welfare, and Recreation Division put on the first ever all-women's bench press contest recently.
Okay, in the past we've had meets where we had a ladies section and we had a men's section. This meet right here distinguishes to give the ladies a chance to get pumped up where it doesn't take a long time for them to wait for the men to go through. This is all women. The women do their meets and show their stuff.
A few of the competitors already hold all-island records and attempted to break them today. While some of the competitors lifted under 100 pounds for their first try, others attempted weights over 150 pounds. After it was all over, awards were given to the top 3 finishers in each weight class, as well as an award for the top lifter from all the weight classes, which is figured out by computing the body weight to weight lifted ratio. Here's a look at the first place finishers. All in all, the competition went better than planned and made way for many more all-women's lifting competitions in the future. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN Sports, Marine Corps Air Station, Futema. For most of us here on Okinawa, a visit with a recruiter is how our journey here began. However, on Okinawa, there isn't a local recruiting station that someone interested in joining the service can just pop into and say, "Sign me up." That's why recruiters from Guam make trips to Okinawa occasionally.
We've flown over from Aganu, Guam. We're here at Kubasaki High School just to talk to some interested applicants, individuals that may be interested in enlisting in the United States Navy.
While on Okinawa, the Navy recruiters visited Kadena High School as well as Kubasaki High. While at the schools, many interested teenagers came to find out exactly what the Navy had to offer. With the drawdowns on all services, it is making recruiting a bit tougher, but even more so, it's making getting into the Navy that much harder.
Recruiting in the military in a whole, I'm sure, is slowed down, and the Navy has definitely slowed down some. We're looking for brighter applicants now, and the qualifications are getting a little tighter. Even though we are cutting back on the people entering the Navy, there are still plenty of options for an individual that would like to come in and make a career out of it to succeed and advance well in the United States Navy.
Because the recruiters cannot visit Okinawa as often as they would like, a local command has been given the duty of helping all those who are interested in joining the Navy. Command Fleet Activities Okinawa has been designated as the point of contact for future sailors.
What we usually do, we'll call the recruiters up in Guam and we'll set them up with an interview. And the recruiters take it from there, and if the recruiter is a success, what he does, He calls us back, and we start generating paperwork back and forth until we swear that individual into the United States Navy.
The recruiters from Guam try to get back to Okinawa as often as possible, but with the cutbacks, funding is hard to come by, so they stay in contact with CFAO, and they say it's the best bet for those interested in joining the Navy. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Kubasaki High School. Bringing a little bit of America to Okinawa seems to be the underlying mission of the Schilling Recreation Center. Throughout the year, they bring us parties ranging from Oktoberfest to this last party, Mardi Gras 93. And a little bit of America, well, New Orleans to be exact, is what they brought. With the theme music playing over the loudspeakers, folks couldn't help but get into the mood to party.
Gotta have a good time, right? You ready to have a good time? Yeah! Are you ready to have a good time? Yeah! Yeah, let's feel good! Yeah!
Yeah, dude!
What are y'all doing out here?
Having fun!
While some people were busy trying to lose their voices, trying to see how loud they could scream Mardi Gras, others were busy trying to win prizes from the many game booths that lined the Schilling parking lot. When asked what Mardi Gras was all about, the Chief of Recreation Support Flight of MWRS, Mr. Tom Tromsdale, otherwise known as Mr. T, replied,
It's a time when people have fun, and our group at Kadena and those that have joined us from the other bases are indeed having fun at the 1993 Mardi Gras.
The party lasted from Friday afternoon through Sunday night, and one of Mardi Gras' claim to fame was the food. Hot and spicy gumbo kept the crowds pleased, and most likely the shopettes' shelves free of antacid. Of course, the food wasn't the only thing to turn stomachs. For the kids, a large jumping room was inflated, as well as the waterborne version of the classic bumper cars kept the kids occupied. When it was all over, people left with smiles on their faces and even sunburns from the beautiful winter weather this year's Mardi Gras brought to Okinawa. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, Kadena Air Base. The USS Dubuque, USS Belleau Wood, and USS Germantown all recently docked on Okinawa after undergoing a MUSAC qualification, which is a course set up to ensure that the ships and Marines that are tasked to be special operations capable can do the tasks assigned. Because the Navy and Marine Corps work hand in hand in all operations that take place from the sea, teamwork is one of the most important factors in success of the mission.
It's a big team effort between the Marines and the Navy. We basically provide a platform for the Marines to do their thing off. We provide good living accommodations and briefing accommodations and communications and a launch platform. They're the main battery of the ship, are the Marines.
With the variations in each ship that make up the Amphibious Ready Group, many different types of missions are possible. The USS Dubuque, a LPD or landing platform dock ship, has many capabilities that make it an integral part of the Amphibious Ready Group. Because of all the different possible scenarios that might occur in wartime, it is important that all capabilities are trained on.
We launch raids. We're capable of launching conventional amphibious assaults. And we're capable of launching airborne vertical assaults. We have a large helo platform, as you can see, and we did it all. Everything from launching and recovering Harriers, which are the jump jets the Marines have, to launching and recovering LCACs. The ship was involved with all those type of operations.
In the past, the Belleau Wood Amphibious Group's home port was split in half, with some of the crew home ported in San Diego and the rest in Sasebo, Japan. They would meet up when training or mission was underway. Recently, the USS Belleau Wood's home port was moved to Sasebo, Japan with the rest of the ships, which made it possible for the Belleau Wood Amphibious Ready Group to respond more quickly when needed. The stay on Okinawa was short, but even after completing the rigorous qualifications, the ships don't have much time to rest. They were busy offloading troops and equipment from the last exercise and onloading more troops and equipment for their next mission. Sergeant Bruce Gordon, FEN News, White Beach.